Welcome to the most electric show in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern. I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. What should I say about Grant today? I saw him doing squats in the gym last night, and his butt looked big, and you can't teach that. Bada boom. Man, the people in the room. How you doing? Welcome into Ride the Line, Grant. I could still whoop your ass, though.
I'm a little concerned, Tanner. I wasn't even squatting last night. What kind of security footage you got on me?
You had that waist belt squat, that fake squat thing.
Oh, the belt squat that I posted on
Yeah,
Instagram a few days ago.
I saw that. I didn't like it because I said I was going to whoop your ass. So I can't be liking my opponent for my next cage fight.
You didn't like it because you are a model of envy and jealousy, Tanner. You used to be that guy, and then you retired. Now you just sit at home and watch others do it.
Actually, I'm a baller at Orange Theory. I'm a top athlete at my Orange Theory gym, Grant. I ran a 5:42 mile there, and that was like elite status.
And that was what, 2 years ago?
No, at Orange Theory a couple weeks ago.
Did you actually? I thought you stopped running.
No, I run a lot. I just don't run like miles and miles. I'm signing up for a 100-mile race though today for the fall, late fall.
You're getting back on it. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, like I'm doing like my mileage is like 20 plus miles a week right now. I got to get it back up a little bit. So I'm getting sick of Orange Theory. I'm getting bored with it. It's too easy for me, Grant. So I got to go back to the pain cave a little bit so I can whoop your ass.
Well, Tanner, you're getting in shape, and so are a lot of the guys in the NFL right now because we got some mini camps going on, and we're here to talk about a little bit of an NFL futures, and we are dubbing this segment NFL Futures Friday. And today we are going to be talking about the NFC North. And Tanner, the favorite to win that division right now, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, the Detroit Lions. They are plus 145 to win the division. Their over-under is set at 9.5 wins. And again, these odds are courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. If you guys listening to this want to get yourself up to $2,500 in prizes from FanDuel, go on over to WSN.com, the World Sports Network. Get yourself a FanDuel promo code, and like I said, up to $2,500 in prizes will be available depending on the outcome of your first bet. Now, Tanner, I don't think it comes as a surprise to us that the Lions are favored to win this division necessarily. But for me, I'm just going to say right now, I've got a little bit of a problem with their Super Bowl odds because they have the 9th shortest, which means 9th best odds in the league to win the Super Bowl. They're at plus 2,200. Can we pump the brakes a little bit? This is a poverty franchise that knew nothing but pain and heartlessness for decades. And now all of a sudden we're ready to crown them the champions of the division now that Aaron Rodgers is gone and they're going to challenge the Eagles for the Super Bowl. Let's just slow down a little bit.
Well, I think, Grant, your squat must have affected your brain last night because, like, aren't the Eagles like plus 600?
Yeah, plus 800. I think the Chiefs are 600 and the Eagles are 800.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big difference between that and 2,200. I don't mind putting the Lions there because overall in the NFC, when you look at it, it's the 49ers, it's the Eagles, and it's everyone else. So when you look at the Lions for being that long of odds, I think that's a fair price for them. Offensively, they're going to be good. Defensively, we'll see if they can make improvements. But I think Jared Goff's that guy. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, the way they drafted was pure stupidity, but they're still going to be good because Dan Campbell's culture has seeped into this entire franchise, and they're going to win the NFC North. There's no doubt in my mind they'll win this division when you look at the rest of the franchises in it right now. Aaron Rodgers leaving. The Bears, I don't think they're going to be that good. And then the Vikings, they got to figure it out still as well. So I'm all over the Lions here.
So I am interested to see how Dan Campbell's culture holds up because it's one thing, and you know this from your athletic career, it's one thing to be able to buy into a coach when you're kind of up and comers and you're building. Once you've sort of hit that level where there are actual expectations and you have to go out and deliver, especially for a franchise that, again, has been decades without really having those expectations, how are you going to handle those? And Jared Goff, I am a fan of his. I think he was probably a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the league last year, but that was also by far the best year of his career. Is he going to be able to replicate that? They lost a couple of guys on the offensive side of the ball, namely Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift. Now, of course, they did bring in Jahmyr Gibbs. Might have said they overpaid for him in the draft, and same thing with Jack Campbell, but point is they're going to be starters on day one. How are they going to come in and fit this culture and this mold of being in the NFL? Just situations to monitor. And because there are so many uncertains, I'm not quite as locked in on the Lions as you are.
You know what another situation to monitor is Detroit Lions, Grant?
What's that, Tanner?
Jameson Williams FanDuel account.
Oh gosh, they got him. They got Calvin Ridley. They got
Calvin
Isaiah
Ridley.
Rodgers.
They,
We should talk about this probably real quick because we are in the sports betting industry. It does seem a little predatory that the league is so heavily endorsing gambling and then it's coming down on his players so hard. I get there are rules, obviously, but I was reading an article the other day that apparently some of the player agents hadn't even been informed of the rules, so they couldn't talk to them. Like, I understand why the league is getting Tom Brady to create video messages now because I feel like there's so much uncertainty around the gambling policy.
well, it's pure stupidity. The fact that even if you're making league minimum, even if you make league minimum, it is so stupid that you would gamble on your own sport. You know you can't do that. And I'll tell you what, I've never hit a massive parlay to make, whatever league minimum is $600,000, $700,000. I don't think these guys are either. So the fact that they're making so much money that they're never going to be able to win gambling, go gamble on the NBA or the MLB or go to the casino. Don't
Well,
bet
I
on.
think so. I think some of them got in trouble because they were betting on other sports, but they were doing it in the team
Yeah, you
facility.
can't do it in the facility.
No, you can't. And it's not
Calvin.
just the team facility either. It's like if you have a team dinner at a restaurant, that's a team event, so you can't do it there. Or if you have a meet and greet, you can't do it there because it's a team event. And my understanding is that's what got some of the guys. Now, not all of them. Like supposedly I don't know if you saw this headline. Supposedly some unnamed NFL player lost $8 million last year gambling. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with those guys, to be honest. But the league, I still think, does need to do a better job of making sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley's a big same game parlay guy. I know he's doing it on the NFL. He loves betting on the NFL.
He does love betting on the NFL. And if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, then you might love betting on the NFL because they're second in the odds to win the NFC North. They're at plus 270. Their over-under is one lower than the Lions. They're at 8.5. Big moves in the offseason. Dalvin Cook is a free agent. They drafted former Biletnikoff winner Jordan Addison to be the wide receiver opposite Justin Jefferson. It's going to take a little bit of time to see how his game translates, but Addison was an absolute beast in college, and there's real potential that the Vikings have the best 1-2 receiver punch in the league, maybe this year, if not 2-3 years down the line. Their defense was a huge problem last year, second in yards allowed, fifth in points allowed. They've got to get better on that side of the ball for them to have a real hope of contending in the division.
Yeah, there's two problems with this team. Defensively is one of them. I don't see them improving that much based on what they did in the offseason. And then when you look at their offense, the fact of the matter is Kirk Cousins in primetime really struggles, and they have to win in primetime to be a good football team. That's the bottom line there. Justin Jefferson, sensational. Jordan Addison's very good. I think he's going to be a good addition to this team, Grant. I would say the best 1-2 punch in football is a little bit of a stretch in the coming seasons. I think there's a lot of good guys out there, but Justin Jefferson's probably the best receiver in football. So it depends how Addison steps into that role. But I'm more of a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins kind of guy, but that's just me. But yeah, Alexander Madison, Alexander Madison, let's see you say his name. He's going to be a big fantasy addition for your team this year now because the Vikings roll off play action as well. So he's going to get a lot of burn there. So look for him if you're playing fantasy football and you were counting on, why am I blanking, Grant?
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, counting on Dalvin Cook. I forgot about him. And what do you think about Dalvin Cook? Them getting rid of Dalvin Cook. I think it was the right move because it gave them so much more cap space to work with.
I like what you said a lot about the Madison handcuff sort of in fantasy and with the play actions, all that. He's going to get a lot of goal line work because Justin Jefferson, as a Justin Jefferson fantasy owner last year, he didn't get a ton of looks in the red zone. A lot of it was going to tight ends, KJ Osborne even, and then, Dalvin Cook. Now that's going to be Madison. So that was a good point there by you. What do I think of them not paying Dalvin Cook? I think it sucks, to be Dalvin Cook, and it sucked to be Ezekiel Elliott. Right now, it sucks to be Saquon Barkley. But we're just in an era where, what do we always talk about on the show? The league is about having a quarterback and rushing the quarterback. Those are the two most important things. After that, you've got to have your offensive line sorted. Then you need, a star player in the secondary or a star linebacker. Then it's about having playmakers, which are wide receivers, even tight ends for your quarterback. The running back is fallen so far down the pecking order in terms of importance that you just can't afford to pay them that much anymore. If you have a dominant MVP candidate, perennially, maybe a Derrick Henry or someone like that, maybe you can make the exception. But the fact of the matter is, if you've got a guy who's not firmly in that like top 5, then you just can't afford to pay them big money, especially when you have other positions of need. And that's what the Vikings do have.
Yeah, you can't overpay for running backs in today's world because they take a beating. You look at Todd Gurley, one of the best running backs in the NFL for a while, and then one minute he was just gone, right? And that's just because he couldn't stay healthy. I look at the Saquon situation. We can segue to this for a second because I'm interested to hear your take, but I know Saquon's not looking to like reset the market as a running back, but I do think the Giants need to call his bluff. He's saying he's not going to play next year. He's going to take a season off. I think they need to call his bluff and say, well, we're not paying you anymore. And let's see if he actually do that. Because I don't think he would.
I saw a report that said they'd offered him about $13 million a year. And I feel like that can't be that far off of what Saquon wants if he says he's not willing to reset the market. And I think if he is, being honest when he says that, then he is aware of what's going on. Running backs are not being phased out of the league, but being phased out of importance. Like, how many times we just saw the Atlanta Falcons, right? They had a rookie running back who rushed for over 1,000 yards, and they said, you know what, we're just going to go to the draft and we're going to get another running back. Teams are so capable of getting a player. Running backs come into the league as ready to be in the NFL as any other position. So you can swap out the guy you have for someone who's basically just as capable, and you can pay him a fifth of the price, whatever the case it might be. There's no reason not to do it. So as far as what does Saquon do, I don't want to transition too far off into a different division because we did talk about the NFC East last week, but Saquon's got to be there for them to succeed. But right now, I just don't know what the compromise is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just think that they should call his bluff. But yeah, the biggest thing, if you look for a running back in the NFL right now, they need to be able to catch the football. That's what makes them more valuable. And if you can play 3 downs, that's the only way. If you're like a first and second down running back, you're pretty disposable, right? Not anyone can hit a hole, obviously. But if you're a college Division I running back that's getting looked at the NFL, you can hit a hole. And if you can stay healthy, that's what's going to help you. But anyways, let's get back to the Minnesota Vikings, Grant. Kirk Cousins sucks, so I'm not super worried about this team. I do think that the Lions will be just fine.
Third in the odds, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook odd makers, to win the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers, plus 350. They're over under is set at 7.5 wins. Tanner, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to picture this. We've got a night game. Chris Collinsworth is on the call. Jordan Love steps onto the field, and here he comes sliding into the camera out of the corner of your view frame. And love is in the air tonight. Or do you feel the love in the air? I can't wait for the Collinsworth puns on this guy. Look, this team is going to come down pretty much entirely to Jordan Love. We don't know what he's going to be. I liked what I saw. I thought he had some real zip on the ball in his one appearance last year, but it's much different stepping into the franchise, being the day one starter and also having those expectations. This is the first year since 1991 that either Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre are not the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. That year, they finished last in the NFC North.
Jordan Love is not good, Grant. That's the problem here. So Chris Collinsworth can only say that in like his first primetime game. And then after that, he can't do it anymore. He's not going to be good. I have a hot take here. You ready for this?
I'm so ready for this.
Big Dick Cliff, Sean Clifford, will be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers at some point over the next 2 seasons. The guy.
That is a super hot take. That's boiling water on the pan.
Clifford's good. He's for the people.
Jordan
Love's not good. Jordan Love's not good. I'm watching his mini camp footage. He's not good. He's been in the league. He's backed up Aaron Rodgers. You would think he'd come in, be a little ready to play. He's not there yet.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers had to sit 3-4 years behind Brett Favre too. It's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers figured it out. I don't think Jordan Love's going to figure it out. No one's high on him.
You got to at least give him a couple of chances to play. You can't judge it all by training camp footage. They were saying Jamar Chase couldn't catch the football in training camp his rookie year.
Maybe he couldn't. Maybe he just developed.
All right, how do you explain what happened?
He figured it out. I just don't think. I think Sean Clifford's got it figured out. I'm a big Clifford guy. Big pet. We are.
Yeah. Because, you know what, Tanner? sometimes I defend you because I think your jersey collections are pretty cool, but you do be bandwagoning a lot of teams. You kind of
No,
you
I'm
just
a
adopt
big.
them and say you're a part of we every time you talk about them.
Oh, the Jaguars, this jersey, is this what you're talking about?
Well, you were wearing an Eagles sweatshirt on the last show. Then it was a Buccaneers shirt. Now it's a Jags
Well, I'm a
jersey.
Buccaneers fan. I am a Buccaneers fan.
No, you're not. You're a
Yes,
Tom
I
Brady
am.
fan.
I'm a Tom Brady fan, which turned into a Buccaneers fan, and I'll be a Patriots fan if they start winning again. I'm a fan of players more so. Like I love Trevor Lawrence. I love Jamar Chase. I love Joe Burr. Joe Burr is my favorite. Joe Shiesty is my favorite player in the NFL by far, not even close. So, like, if I had to pick a new team to support, it's the Bengals. So,
I thought you loved Mac Jones.
I don't like Mac anymore. Mac's a little Mac's a little softy. That's all I'll say. He's a nice cone of soft serve ice cream with sprinkles on top.
Let's close this out here. The Chicago Bears, they're last in the odds to win the division. They're plus 420. Over under also set at 7.5 wins, same as the Packers, but obviously lower odds to win the division. They signed Tremaine Edmonds, which was my move of the offseason. According to Pro Football Focus, they've got the best 1-2 punch of linebackers with him and TJ Edwards. They either finished 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th in Pro Football Focus's linebacker rankings. I don't remember which one. They drafted Darnell Wright, huge tackle out of Tennessee. They also traded for DJ Moore to give Justin Fields a bona fide number one to throw to, which is good because apparently they're really frustrated with Chase Claypool. I think they should have seen the writing on the wall when the Steelers were able to part with him so freely after they just spent a first-round draft pick on him. But, I digress. I actually love the Bears, Tanner. I'm going to be honest. I think they've got a lot of what you look for in the NFL. They got the playmakers at wideout, like I just said, DJ Moore. I love having Tremaine Edmonds in the linebacking core. I think he's the best linebacker in the league. Pass defense, a little shoddy on the back end. They're going to be a little bit better getting after the quarterback. They beefed up their defensive line. Justin Fields really took off in the second half of the season. Excited to see what he can do in a full year. I'm optimistic for the Bears. I'm definitely going on this over of 7.5.
Yeah, I would take the over 7.5. I wouldn't take Matt Eberflus to win Coach of the Year for them to win the division because I don't think they're there yet. It really comes down to can Justin Fields throw the football. I think he had a 17-11 touchdown to int ratio last year. That's not good. He's got to be able to pick teams apart in the pocket. We know he can run, but eventually that's going to wear off. I think teams are going to start to figure it out a little more. And obviously super explosive and shifty, but defenses can account for it after a whole offseason of prep. So we'll see if he can sit back in the pocket and pick teams apart. If he can't, it still will be a long season for the Bears. I don't care how much improved they are on defense. I don't care if they got DJ Moore. And I do think Chase Claypool, I think he's going to be a valuable goal line threat. Other than that, I don't see him doing much for this team.
You have a prop bet for Justin Fields, don't you?
Yeah, Justin Fields to lead the league in rushing touchdowns because I think they're going to try to figure out if he can throw the ball, and then they're going to figure out that he can't throw the ball. So they're just going to have to rely on running the football. He's very explosive around the goal line. Like he throws picks all the time. They don't want to put him in a situation where he's going to risk a turnover. So we're going to see a lot of QB read. We're going to see a lot of him running the football down there. He had 8 rushing touchdowns last year. I think Jalen Hurts led the league in quarterback rushing touchdowns, if I'm correct, with 13. Many of those were that quarterback sneak play, which they're still going to do a lot this year. But just as far as pure explosiveness, I'll trust Justin Fields any day of the week. And I trust Jalen Hurts to pick you apart a little bit more in the pocket as well. And I think he's due for a regression running the football. I think they're still going to count on Jalen Hurts to be throwing it a little more this year. So I think Justin Fields, I like the value there for how shifty he is.
When I checked a couple of weeks ago, I think he was also 10th in odds to lead the league in rushing yards, which would just be kind of crazy for a quarterback.
Like overall. This was quarterback.
Running backs included.
Yeah.
All right, Tanner, let's go through these one by one real quick. Lions over under 9.5 wins. Where we fall in here?
Over. Hammer.
I go with the over 2, but I'm not as heavy as you. Vikings over under 8.5.
Over.
Under for me. Packers over under 7.5.
Under.
Under for me as well. Bears over under 7.5.
Under.
Over. Come on now. Good. Do it to my guy. Plus 172 to make the playoffs. Come on, Bears fans. I believe in you.
Grant, the Bears are an atrocious franchise.
All right, real quick. Here's the playoff picture for the NFC. Lock in the Eagles, lock in the Cowboys. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess the Cowboys get there as a wild card team, I guess.
All right, lock in this 49ers. Nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Lock in one NFC South team, but it's not going to be two.
It will be Carolina. No, not Carolina. It will be New Orleans. New
It
Orleans.
doesn't matter who it is, though. I'm saying it's just going to be
Okay.
one. It's not going to
Yeah.
be two. And then the NFC North winner, I don't want to say lock in, but we're going with the Lions.
Yeah.
So now, who are the best wild card teams remaining in the NFC? Probably the Seahawks, right?
Yeah. Seahawks could get in.
So now we've got one more spot. And from the NFC North, I would pit it as the Bears. I don't think a third NFC East team gets in. I don't think the Giants are going to be good enough. There's not going to be an NFC North team, or excuse me, an NFC South team. And then are we going to get a third team from the NFC West? I don't think so. That seventh spot is right there for the Bears. I'm telling you just to keep an eye on it.
I don't think the Rams are going to be as bad as people think this year either.
Really? You got faith in the Stafford Cup duo?
Not saying I have faith, but I mean, this team did win a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
We only care about the NFC North here on this episode, but next week we are going to be back with a preview of a different NFC division, so make sure that you are sticking around for that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, and comment. Let us know what your favorite bet from the NFC North is. And until next time, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.
Monday, baseball picks. Be there.